Hello, everyone, and welcome to MUTINY.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
I'm so proud of myself for that one,
I,
Max. You gotta come on,
I'll actually,
come
I'll
on.
give it to you. That one
Come
was
on, man.
it's
That
terrible, but it actually works. Like it's one of those bad dad jokes, but good. It's a good dad joke. Dad jokes, I guess, are inherently bad, so it's a
I have
good dad
been
joke.
behind the eight ball on jokes literally the entire day because I got like 5 hours of sleep last night. I saved all my marbles for that one. Oh
It's
man,
not, it's not the most incredible thing, but I'll give it to you.
that's all I ever wanted
fair
out of
enough.
that.
That's fair
I
enough.
wanted I wanted Ben to give me that one.
I'll give it to you.
So based on that, y'all out there can assume we are talking about a double dip tonight. Mutiny, starring Jason Statham, and Tony, starring Dominic Sessa. We're starting with Mutiny because that's what three of us are going to talk about tonight. And then two of us, who's it going to be? Are going to
There you
spoiler,
go.
Ben.
Spoiler alert.
Um, two of us are going to talk about Tony, the new Anthony Bourdain
Max does
biopic.
his homework, guys.
Yeah,
Never
It's
I'm
true.
a,
forget.
I'm a slacker, guys. I'm so sorry.
I do the job.
Though I can play some crazy cool jazz fusion licks for you now.
It's true you can. Take your pick.
I mean, I'll do it right now if you want me to.
Is that worth it over seeing Tony in theaters? Let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, Mutiny, Jason Statham, a rare second Jason Statham movie of the year. Usually we get our traditional January, February release when there's nothing else going on. We get a second one. We get a summer Statham in 2026.
Summer State.
Gentlemen, what'd you guys think?
This is like the working man for me. It's not his best, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what the hell is happening with this plot. The plot is absolutely
What
insane.
what plot?
There's no plot. There's a ship and he like
There's a
kills a
ship.
bunch of people.
They expanded it too much. We have this like fucking billionaire. And there's like this small crate of human trafficking that's probably worth, look, I'm a progressive guy. I don't believe in human trafficking.
Ben's gonna say
Oh,
something
that's
that's gonna get
good.
us
That's
canceled right
good.
I
now.
cannot
Bare
imagine is
minimum.
this like comparable to the amount of money you're getting as like a, I don't know, whatever the guy was to KMG? Or no, he was I don't even know. The plot is so confusing. So was he another company?
Who? Jason Statham?
No, the Daniela's whatever the guy was, the
Oh,
bad guy.
he
Oh.
was like a rival businessman who wanted to maintain control over the company through the sun so that they would
It's
continue
so
using the shipping
fucking
ships
insane.
to
What do you
do
mean you're a rival businessman working human trafficking on somebody
human
else?
trafficking.
Anyway, aside from the absolutely ridiculous plot that probably drops it by 2 stars because I was holding my head in my hands.
Drops it by two
uh,
stars from five, right? You were starting at
From
five.
five, from five. This
From
is a two
five.
star movie, okay? Jason Statham immediately starts at 5 stars. The only
That's
thing
fair.
that could lose
That's
in
fair.
stars is the screenwriters. That's it.
You knew,
It's
fuck off. This was going to be a bad script going in. You got to
yeah,
account for that.
but I enjoyed the
But at
like.
least Working Man and Beekeeper, they made sense to a certain extent.
Working
It's
Man did not have as good a script as
no, it
Working,
Beekeeper.
didn't.
no,
Beekeeper of the
Beekeeper
I
was
of the
think
okay.
four
Shelter
movies
was
in all.
better than all of them.
Yes, I agree with that. But
I
honestly,
don't
Maybe
know.
not Beekeeper. No, it was better than Beekeeper.
It's
Shelter was better
the
than Beekeeper.
Beekeeper,
Beekeeper was more fun. It was not a better
Yeah, yeah,
script.
yeah. Okay, all
It's
right, all
so
right.
Beekeeper,
stupid as well.
Shelter, probably Mutiny, and then Working Man.
Working Man, I have to agree with George. I thought it was
Yeah,
a terrible.
Working Man was too big. Yeah,
Because what we get in Mutiny that works for the film is a co-star who's actually trying in Annabelle Wallace
sure.
and putting this in one location for the entire second and third act, having it just be on the boat, really works
And I think
for
the boat is good. It's great for action. You got these
Yeah.
corridors. You got him.
Yeah.
He's turning into Batman at certain
got
points.
Yeah, it's
the
scary. There's like
boiler
shadows
room.
and
Yeah,
You
at certain
stuff.
got
points, I'm like, this is a horror movie, but Jason
Yeah.
Statham is the
the
killer.
the shipping containers in the hull of the ship.
Yep. Ships are scary,
I don't
bro.
think the one thing I think they could have done better to make use of their environment was they sent the captain out on top of the exterior, the outdoor shipping containers, but they never had Statham out there until the very end when he's off the side of the boat and onto the pirate vessel.
Yeah, but the outside is less interesting. I feel like the
It
internal
is,
corridor
but
is
when
like
you've got
alien.
the opportunity for big open sky, shipping containers hopping from one to the next to the next to the
I don't
next,
give a shit about that. You can do that in Uncharted, all right? I think it's a better call to do
do
stuff in
not just
under.
drop Uncharted on me.
I mean, that's an Uncharted thing. Oh, we get shipping containers. I'm going to jump from one to one. I'm talking more like the game, just because that's something I think I've literally done in
I,
the game.
I feel like shrinking it makes it more unique to us, more unique than some of the
It
Statham
feels
films
so
that we've
much
done,
cooler.
right?
Yeah. It feels like,
Like
again, the plot's stupid.
like Shelter, we thought it was going to be in a fucking lighthouse for the entire thing, and then we immediately leave the
Leave the
lighthouse
lighthouse and never go back.
and
Yeah.
never go back. The movie's called Shelter. We assume it's going to be about a fucking lighthouse. We don't get the lighthouse.
So I think this is
He is the
better in that
shelter.
way. Shelter, I think, is the best
And
movie.
Jason Statham as like Christopher Shelter or whatever the fuck his name was.
Christopher
I
Shelton.
don't even know. But
I
honestly,
feel like
I when
Part
all
of
they
the
the
parts
first
of
names
the
are
said
so
when they
ridiculous.
first
he
said
was
his name
he
was
was
Cole Reed
Cole
in
Reed
Yeah,
this
we
movie,
get
Sr.
I swear to God,
Corey.
I thought it was a movie that we had already seen, and it was a name that we had already seen
That's
from.
Levin
what's his
That's
Cade.
Lemon Cake? What's his name in The Working Man? I'm gonna look this up. We got Mike
Adam. It was
Worthing.
Adam something.
Adam,
Adam Clay,
Adam
Adam Clay.
Clay. Okay, so in
Crazy Paul.
Shelter, his name is
That's an
Michael
how do we
Mason.
remember that?
It's
His name
because we're
is
locked in on Statham, bro.
Oh my God.
just in case. Michael Mason. That's Shelter. All right. He's got
Michael Mace.
Mason.
Mason.
Okay,
It was
Two
I remember
first
Mason
names.
because the little girl kept saying Mason.
okay,
Also, Shelter loses another half star at least for killing the dog.
Yeah, that's actually a
fair
criminal.
enough.
I did not like that part of the screenplay.
So
Unnecessary.
I might go beekeeper, mutiny, shelter, working man.
I will say the beekeeper has a elderly, nice woman commit suicide, so we just don't
Yeah,
talk about that or what?
We don't talk about that because Beekeeper's the only one getting a sequel. So,
beekeeper.
Also just so much fun. Like it happens but that's the thing is you're really rooting for revenge. It's like a clear motive. This movie I think falters in that I don't know what the fuck is going on. He's
Yeah, that's
killing
fair.
people.
well,
Yeah, all right.
there's a
The human
clear
traffickers, yeah.
Because
revenge
it's easy to
mission.
root
Bad.
against the human traffickers. Yeah.
Yes. But there's
It's easy to
less
root against the human traffickers, and it's easy to root for Statham because the guy who took him
I
in when his father died is the one who's murdered at the start of the
I
film.
am not disagreeing with this, but I think it loses a little bit of that typical state the momentum of just like vengeance by having like Cameron be part of like the plot at a certain point, and then all this
Cameron's
stuff.
part of the plot when it's convenient.
Yeah, but like, but
Beginning and the end.
Ibu's last words are like take care of Cameron, and then we get this like it kind of like drops
Just
the
not
mood a
gonna.
little bit for me. I can't have as much fun. I'm not seeing as much vengeance and just like enjoying
I'm
the
sorry, you're not seeing as much
All
vengeance
right, that's
when
a
vengeance is the last fucking word of the film. When I tell you guys, and I did tell you guys this as soon
all
as I
right.
left the theater, I have not when Jason Statham
I am vengeance.
kills Danielis at the end of the film, and then after being asked what he wants, and then he says vengeance, and then it cuts to black. I burst out
Get in
laughing
the way.
harder than I have at
Jason
an
Statham to
enemy
the
in
DCU.
so long.
All right, vengeance is probably the wrong word. I don't know,
Oh,
the feeling I typically
oh,
get
vengeance.
from Statham movies is I can just root for them, just like beating up bad guys, and then there's like this back of my mind that's like, oh, this poor kid that Jason Statham got asked to look over. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't care about that because the mechanic is like the same thing,
The
and
mechanic is the same thing.
he literally,
Shelter's the same
he
thing.
literally kills the son and like the mechanic too, I think. Spoilers.
I've seen both, Max. I don't know
Or
about
the
you.
first. I don't know. Everything blends together. He kills a lot of people.
It's fine.
Statham also has to care about a fuck ass kid in both Meg movies. So,
Yes, this is true. Anyway, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Just because it's
and
Jason
Working
Statham.
Man.
I enjoyed it more than
Because then, like, he's on a roll of protecting sort of a random loose connection to his life.
What's no, in this movie though, he's tasked with protecting Cameron,
it kind of fails this
and
job.
then
He
he
does.
only protects Annabelle Wallace's character, whose name is
Kind of,
escaped Angie.
Angie.
it's kind of amazing because like this is a bad screenplay. It shows that Jason Statham has lost somebody and failed to protect somebody when that clearly,
Vengeance.
canonically, just would never happen.
How can you call this a bad screenplay with vengeance?
But yeah, I that was the thing that I kept thinking about. Is like, man, this is kind of a bad look for him, though, right? He he literally failed his one job. This fucking superhero of a
Well,
man.
to be fair, his one job was to look after Cameron, but Tibu said
Oh,
that
secondary job.
Tibu said that not knowing that Cameron's the reason why he got killed.
He did look after Cameron. He
He made
didn't
sure he
know.
knew that he would have to live with his choices for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't kill him, so that's like looking after him.
That's personal growth for Statham.
I thought that Cameron was going to die, and then it was going to be revealed that Cole Reed just inherited the entire company. I think that would be a great ending.
Okay.
What kind of fuck ass name is Cole Reed?
It
All right,
would be even
wait.
it would be even
Cole,
funnier if it
Cole
was
Reed, Michael Mason, uh, Adam Clay, and Levin Cade rank the names.
Levin Cade, because I kept
Levitate.
calling
Yeah,
him Levin Cade in this movie when I was thinking about what his
that's
name
a
was.
memorable
I was
name.
like, that's Levin Cade. Because
Is
it's such a memorable name.
who's coming up with these names? That's the question.
Statham himself.
Absolute geniuses. Geniuses.
He's credited as a producer on these movies because he bankrolls part of it and then he gets to name his own character.
What if
Sure.
in this one I'm called Cole Reed? He's a dangerous fella. I gotta get
All
back.
right, we're just gonna rip a line of Coke and then spin the prize wheel and see what first initial, last initial we come up with and just make up words that go with it.
And then toss in one random special forces unit from across the world. Pick any one of them. He
Well,
was probably part of it.
there's two musicians that I feel like he would do a great job with their name. One is James Jamerson, and the other is Chris Christopherson. I feel like those are perfect Jason Statham-esque names.
Jason Statham not doing an action movie, but doing a Chris Christopherson biopic.
Chris Christopherson. He could not do James Jamerson. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's the basis for Motown.
Sure.
Not quite the right tone.
Probably not.
He could do
Statham's
it
gonna win
though.
an Oscar
You
for
know
one of
what?
these movies one day. Book it.
Oscar for the Beekeeper 2.
Oh my God. I enjoy all these, but
Is
this one,
wait,
I don't
Working Man
know.
or Beekeeper? Which one is Levin Cade?
Love and Kate is the beekeeper.
And then Adam Clay is Working
Sounds,
Man.
Adam Clay
I
is the
think
work,
that's right. Sounds right.
I think.
Beekeeper has improved so much in hindsight because every movie that he's done since then has just been copying The Beekeeper.
This is kind of true.
Yeah.
So
But
what's Beekeeper 2 gonna be?
the beekeeper, to be fair,
I
has
hope they go insane with it. Just do stuff that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Is Hutcherson coming back?
I hope so.
Dude, throw
Bring
John Wick
everyone
in.
back. Who cares? Bring the
John
old
Wick.
lady back.
John Wick just shows up. Who cares?
Oh my God, a crossover with John Wick.
No, it's a Sisu crossover.
Yeah, and Sisu comes out of nowhere and doesn't say a word, just like blows up fucking 50 guys.
What if the credit scene of this crossover movie is just John Wick and Cole Reed
I know
saying
exactly what you're saying.
consequences and vengeance
Like,
back and forth?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go the Kingsman 2 route where they
Oh my,
introduced Sisu like they introduced Hitler in the post-credit
that
scene
was that was the King's
of
Man.
the
That
King's
wasn't
Man.
Kingsman
Yeah.
2.
I really appreciate that Jason Statham continues the trend of like cliche action movies from the 80s. I
I
mean,
mean,
these
like, we need that.
having like
We
one-liners like
absolutely
that,
need
it's
them.
such a rare thing, and it used to not be. It used to have, Arnold Schwarzenegger out there, John-Claude Van Damme, Kurt Russell. Gives a fuck. They were all just hamming it up, and it was fun. It's a movie. We don't need to take things so seriously, which I think this movie actually, that its biggest detriment is that it takes just a confusing plot and takes things a little too seriously. Let's lighten up the mood.
It is dark.
We don't need as dark of a feel. We can just have Jason Statham kill a bunch of people. And you don't need to think about, oh,
Well, then the last time
human
Statham
consequences.
did something with
Consequence.
re with real levity throughout, where it didn't take itself too seriously, was Operation Fortune. And
Okay, but
that was a fun ride,
that was too
mostly.
much. Let's bring
You
it
should watch
somewhere in the
Spy.
middle.
Spy is the
Why is
perfect balance of
it's
that.
great. It's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Because he's so serious. He's so deadpan. It is unbelievably
It's so
serious.
funny. It is so funny.
Like he's a great
All right,
actor.
shit. I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week. Fuck.
Immediately. I cannot believe you haven't this is
It's a
it's
movie
gonna
you would really like.
yeah,
That's why I'm
you'll love it.
surprised.
You'll love
It's
it.
And if I'm
on my
not,
Letterboxd watch list. I will watch it.
Excuses, excuses.
I'm gonna jump out of an airplane. Ouch. It's just it's so good.
All right. The most important question I can ask about any Statham film that we do in the last few years. Favorite kill.
The lock at the beginning.
Oh, when he takes his face off?
It was just so it was like because it was
Gnarly.
one of the first ones and it was right in your face of like this is the first kill we're gonna
I
do.
actually liked his whole kill, like the
Yeah. Yeah,
walk, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
It
He
there's the
was
was
so
battle.
like
alive
he
and
took
he
steps to
yes.
accomplish it.
Yes.
First, the lock
Yep.
tears open the mouth,
Yep.
and then
And then he
you're gonna
fights
beat
him
the
in the
shit out of him.
corridor
It was
with the
so
knife.
elaborate.
It was
And
great.
then they
He
tried to
stabs him
copy
with
it
a
later
knife.
with the meat with the fish hook, and it was good, but
No,
it
but
wasn't as good. The
I,
lock was awesome.
you're copying it
The
like at
lock
that
was
point.
awesome.
They should have done something better for like the main bad guy, like the captain.
I mean, the crossbow to the head is a pretty good kill,
That
but
was
he
pretty
deserved
cool.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It did. Do something crazy like give him access to like a motor of one of the like
Turn him into like Jason Statham. Jason Voorhees. Turn him into like a serial killer.
so
Right? Just
just
like a
like give him a
chainsaw.
chainsaw or something.
Yeah. Leatherface. Go,
Okay,
go crazy.
sure. I mean, they kind of tried to with the axe.
They did.
Didn't
Go
really work
crazier.
because he
I
gave up
liked
the
how
axe
the
almost
axe
immediately.
and the knife kept switching hands in that fight.
Yeah,
That was fun. They had some good
it's good
choreography.
choreography. Yeah,
It was good fight choreo, yeah.
yeah.
Like again, the plot doesn't make sense, but you know what? Who cares?
It's Jason Statham reading a bad script, killing off featured extras for an hour 40, and we're gonna love every second of it,
The
but it's
only
not gonna be a good
times,
movie.
the only times that I really thought about the plot and was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Was when people keep asking Jason Statham, they're like, "Hey, I saw you on the news. I saw you killed that guy." It's just like, it's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Angie asking him like 10 times, "Are
Okay.
you Cole Reed?"
Do you want to elaborate
And
on that?
the fucking Navy lieutenant at the end of the movie being like, well, that wasn't Cole Reed, so
Yeah,
he's
that
not
was
our problem.
crazy.
Whoa.
I would agree with that, sir. Like,
I
all
love
right,
Believe it or
that's just
not,
not how it works.
believe
You
it or not, that works.
Dude, the
think-
military guys are hilarious. They go 600 miles, I think, off course to just do this random thing. They find a bunch of bodies, and they're just like, "Oh, this woman said this that Cole Reed died. I guess I'll believe her."
The entire military involvement could have been avoided if the captain just says, like, oh, that was an accidental call. But he has to
Which
make
he
up some
was
lie about a
leaning towards
fishing
doing, but because of plot
vessel.
armor, he decided to investigate it further because they don't do anything more than that the
Dude,
entire movie.
such a bad plot. The screenplay is horrendous. There's one of
I
those
feel
um
bad for Annabelle Wallace because she's trying to make it a good performance with a
it's
terrible script.
it's fine. But I
She's
will
also the
say
only reason why the plot happens.
there are other like Jason Statham movies. I think this is the mechanic too, where he survives the end by like the shit blows up, but he gets into like an anchor cage, which is like shielded or something, and you get like Tommy Lee Jones, this like weird little arms dealer, and he's looking at the cage and looking
Oh
at the
my God,
videotape,
Mechanic Resurrection
and
is
then
such a
and
shit
then
movie. I can't
Jason
believe you're making me remember it.
Statham comes out. Oh, cinema absolutes. No, none of these movies are good, but there are better ways to like get a character away from Trump.
I'm not sure there is.
There definitely is. Dude, he could just jump off the boat, anything, any. Like, what do you mean they went 600 miles to investigate a potential attack on US soil, and then they find all this shit, and they're just like, oh, I guess Cole Reed's dead. All right.
One person says he died in the water, and
They immediately believe her, or
we've
they
got
take
this
it as the truth at the very least.
unidentified survivor when the entire rest of the crew is
Who
dead,
is this guy?
taking off on a pirate ship,
They address it in movie.
and it's not our problem.
And
We're all
everybody's
the way
fine
out
with
here.
that. Not a
We're all the way
single
out here.
person is
They're
like,
like, and
oh,
also, they don't even fucking wink at the camera. Like, well, it's definitely not him.
That's all, folks.
Like, they don't even, there's not even a cheeky little, well, it seems like Cole Reed actually is dead
they
when we've
play it
seen
so serious.
it's played so seriously.
I think that is the central problem with the movie is that it just takes itself too seriously.
Just stop trying to make it work and have fun.
Like if they had actually broken the fourth wall there, I think that would have made it so funny.
That
Like imagine not even the captain or like the admiral of the ship doing it, but like the random special ops guy that was on the Artemis just looking at the camera and winking for ostensibly no reason and not even saying anything, and then it cuts to black. Like that's so funny.
No, it can't cut to black because we still have to get vengeance.
No, we don't need that. Fuck that.
Yes,
That is
we do.
terrible. No, we
we
don't.
need a funeral. We gotta get vengeance in there.
Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. I don't know. It was fun.
I
It's
enjoyed it.
fun.
Like I really can't complain too much about it.
It's
No.
fun. It's big. It's loud.
Yeah.
The
It's
one thing
very
I
loud.
did want to bring up, which I think is absolutely embarrassing, um, Amazon uploaded this movie apparently.
When they were trying to upload a trailer.
Yeah.
They uploaded the full thing, but
Yeah.
the thing is that they left it up for hours. Hours. People could literally go on Amazon.com and stream this movie.
Yep.
That's insane. This has nothing to do about the movie, more just about how incompetent and apparent like oligopoly is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hope they sue them and get some money. Get Jason Statham some money.
so that he can make more
There
of
it is.
these.
I need it. I need it.
They're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
Good.
Mutiny 2 is on a submarine.
I think you mean mutiny. So we're gonna segue now, and we'll do a wrap on mutiny at the end of the episode. But let's talk about Tony.
So Tony 2 is that's gonna be about the next summer.
Tony will
Tony.
return in Avengers Doomsday.
Anyway, I did not get the chance to see this movie, so I'll let
My
these
bad.
two goons talk about this.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
Good
See you,
night.
dude.
Doubt you.
See ya.
So
Hey.
just more on mutiny, real
Oh,
quick.
okay.
No,
We're excluding Ben from the conversation.
yeah. So end of Oak Street. Uh,
Okay, so
the
you
20
saw it.
minute,
All
the
right,
20
good, good.
minutes that I saw of it before I left. Um, no, let's talk about Tony,
Yep.
which was awesome. It was, I think, what biopics should shift towards, but we'll get into my thoughts in a moment. What did you think?
Yeah, I think you actually opened it up really nicely there. I agree. I think a lot of our criticism of biopics recently has been that they're often too ambitious. And there's nothing wrong with going for a large chunk of an artist or person's life. Um, but it has to be good and it has to be well thought out of what you're focusing on within what moments you're focusing on within that chunk of time. And if you can't do that, then you need to scale all the way back and focus on sort of a turning point, which is this summer for Anthony
This
Bourdain.
movie.
Yeah, which is what we get with Tony. And I think it excels in that you know that it always has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know exactly where it's going to end up. Well, actually, let me rephrase. You don't know where it's going to end up, but you know that there's going to at least be a conclusion to the story that you've started to watch in the theater. Where, as
Yeah.
sometimes with biopics, like I'm going to point to the Bruce Springsteen "Deliver Me from Nowhere," where it kind of felt like we were rambling
It
on
was
for
walking aimlessly for two
yeah,
hours.
like nothing, almost nothing. I think,
I don't
but
remember that movie, and I've seen it.
I don't really either. I think Timothy, what was the Bob Dylan one? I forget what that one was
A
called.
Complete Unknown.
A Complete Unknown, I think, did a better job of that, but it still fell into some of the same traps. I think Tony almost completely sidesteps those kinds of pitfalls.
Yeah,
It's very focused, and I want to give it its laurels for that. And I think
yeah,
that's not to be ignored. That's a big part of why I liked Tony and why I
yeah.
thought it
I'll throw some flowers on there too.
yeah.
I think what Matt Johnson does here, and I really enjoyed what Matt Johnson did with Blackberry a few years ago. I thought that was a really well done biographical film, if not a biopic. Um, it's still telling a narrative about real historical events. And I think what we get in Tony is an actual narrative. There was talk, I just read this earlier today. There was talk in the pitching process by Matt Johnson to producers of this film that we don't know in the marketing or in the first part of the script, we don't know at all until the very last line of the film that it's Anthony Bourdain and it's just some kid named Tony.
Mhm.
And the movie, even with the knowledge that it's Anthony Bourdain, the movie works because it's just some kid named Tony. And we're seeing one summer in his life, a transformative experience, an opportunity for a coming of age narrative to take place for him. We're not taking a big swing and showing, well, let's do this summer for maybe the first 20 minutes of the movie and then go to the CIA and then go to Kitchen Confidential and the rest of his career. Like we are locking in on this summer, and it feels much more like a movie than a clip show. And I think what you touched on,
Yeah,
Max, with a
yeah,
lot of biopics, and this is it happens a lot in music biopics. Have not
yeah. It
seen
really does.
Michael,
Yes, I
have
haven't
not
either.
seen Michael, but with Bohemian Rhapsody, with Rocket Man, even a complete unknown, like what I will give Deliver Me From Nowhere this, it focuses on one album, one part of Springsteen's career. To its credit, it doesn't try to do too much.
Yeah,
A Complete Unknown, I think, takes place over 4 years. Rocket Man is a whole acid trip plus biopic. Bohemian Rhapsody is like 15, 16 years. No,
and we're built
I'm
like
sorry, not that much. It goes from
10 to 12.
like the early mid 70s until Live Aid, which is 85.
Yeah,
And then the postscript is early 90s when he dies.
yeah, yeah.
But or when Freddy dies, sorry, spoiler. Um 8 years later. But what this movie does is it doesn't like no, I'm sorry, what those movies do, music biopics especially, is try to tell the Wikipedia page on screen in less than 2.5 hours. And while that is certainly a formula that has worked, Bohemian Rhapsody won 4 Oscars. I really enjoyed it as a Queen fan, despite the historical liberties that it took. And there were a lot of them. This movie hones in on a couple of months. We know who Anthony Bourdain is based on having seen him in the cultural zeitgeist for decades leading up to his death a few years ago. We know who Anthony Bourdain is, so we don't need to see the whole life. With a lot of biopics, we see the whole life. We don't need to see the whole life. The audience can be trusted to know who these people are. That's why they're going to see a movie about them. So what we get with Tony is why he is the way he is. It's not here's his life story, it's here's what made him him. And to do that in a film that feels so much more like a narrative comedy drama than, well, here's the historical event you know, and here's the next historical event you know. It's, well, I don't really know how this summer's going to end for him, but he's going to piss me off and be an asshole for a lot of the movie because that's who we know Anthony Bourdain to be. And then there's going to be a moment of growth. And when that's going to happen, I don't know, but it's going to happen. And we're going to see that he's going to chase greatness. And so that makes the movie really work for me.
I agree, and I also think that where it works is that this is at the end of the day and sort of at its simplest form, it's a summer love story.
Yeah,
Uh, and I think something that I've noticed about two
in
of
three
Dominic's,
ways.
huh?
In 3 ways. It's a summer love story with Nancy. It's a summer love story with Chef, and it's a summer love story with cooking.
Yep.
Sorry, continue.
That's a great way of putting it, right? Because I think it's a wonderful encapsulation of what a summer should be. Summer is where young people, specifically students, which is the time period that they picked to focus on in Anthony Bourdain's life, where he's a learning young person out of Vassar College, what after his freshman year, sophomore year, something like that.
Something like that, early
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. Where you're supposed to go out and explore. You're supposed to go out and make the kinds of mistakes that he made. And something I've noticed about two of my favorite Dominic Sessa roles, the first being his breakout in The Holdovers, and the second being here in Tony, that
You're not talking about Now You See Me, Now You Don't?
I'm really not. But the thing that I love about these two roles is that the two films seem to capture the essence of the season that they were released for. Um,
Yes.
we have the
Yes.
holdovers, which is sort of this longing for home. I need a place to feel like I belong kind of story where he finds that beautifully, of course. And then sort of the same, but in the summer, right? And I would push back on people that say that he's playing the same role or something similar of this sort
He's
of
not.
pubescent, adolescent,
It's
kid.
immature. They're both
It's an
immature.
immature, yes, there's an immaturity that I think you can point to that is similar, and there are through lines there, but I think they're very different. And I think what we have with Tony here in the summer is he's a young man finding his way in the world, where in the holdovers we had a young kid finding his way within his school and his school community. And I think that's a much bigger role than um I I think Tony's a much bigger role than the holdovers in that way.
Yeah.
In that there is a lot was asked of Dominic Sessa here. Um, to sort of graduate from his breakout role in the holdovers to this icon of American and world culture, I think, in Anthony Bourdain, where he's tasked with capturing not only Anthony Bourdain's spirit and how he would have been in the summer of 1975, but also capturing what it's like for every young person emerging from their first, second, or third year of college, and emerging in the summer, finding a young person that they love and want to pursue, and and understanding what that's like, and that's what a young actor can do, is they know those experiences from your life, and so it's easy to get lost in the fact that you're right, George. He's not mentioned. His name is not mentioned until the end of the movie. As Anthony, like we know that it's Anthony Bourdain, but if you were to go in completely blind, it wouldn't be unreasonable for you to come out of the movie saying, "Whoa, I didn't realize this was about Anthony Bourdain," because it's so quintessentially a summer tale of exploration and discovery, which is wonderful. Like,
Yeah.
this is the season of releasing these kinds of movies.
And I think you bring up an excellent point there at the end, the season of releasing this kind of movie. I grew up going to the Cape every summer. And what this movie and what Matt Johnson, as a very, very talented filmmaker, does here is it makes the Cape feel like a character. And I think what a lot of biopics get lost in is this is the character in the world around them, but we're really focusing on the character, not their environment. And I think this summer in Anthony Bourdain's life really shows that he, in that particular summer, and then what he grew out of from there, was he was a product of his environment. It was that summer on the Cape that transformed him from this cynical, I know everything about the world, I can bullshit my way into whatever I want, writing student, literary pursuit, to I have a sense of direction now and maturity a little bit to go forth and pursue this thing that I found that I love in cooking. So what we get, and some of it is the kitchen staff, shout out Stav, and some of it is the party and the community response after the fire and the clam bake. Like, we're seeing the world of Provincetown, of Cape Cod, through Tony's eyes, sure, but it comes alive on screen in cutaway shots and in the the setup for situations to take place based purely on location, um, the impetus for certain interactions, all brought upon by the location, where this movie isn't the same if it's not the New England shoreline. If he goes to learn how to cook in fucking Paris along the Seine, it's a very different movie. But the quality of the character of a summer on the Cape is so like as a New England born and bred guy, someone who again spent summers going to Cape Cod. I've been to Provincetown a lot in my life. I was mostly going to Eastham my summers growing up, but we go up to P-Town a couple of times. It was fun. But as someone who has had that experience, it helps me connect more and to see this movie, especially this time of year. We would always go to the Cape in August, right before school started. So that made it doubly resonant with me, where I could say, yeah, that's that is the Cape in summer. And sure, it's decades ago as presented in the movie, but still there's a sense of timelessness about it.
Yeah, I actually want to jump off. I was going to say something very similar that um, there's this sort of air of mystique around places like the Cape and Hyannisport and Newport and all
Even
these
like
sort of
Nantucket in the Vineyard.
Nantucket and the Vineyard, like all these mid-Atlantic New England coastal towns, Ocean City to a certain extent, um,
Don't try
that
to hop on our thing.
that all of
Mid-Atlantic, you're your own thing.
that all of these locations have this idea of time stopping when you're there. And that kind of, I think, further reinforces my earlier point of this being a summer love story. And what happens in a quintessential love story is that time stops. You're falling in love with someone, with something, and the world just stops around you. And that's what summer feels like. Like that's what the vibe, that's what it is when you're doing something that you love in the time that you can do it with your family, with your friends, with your partners, whatever. If you can do that in the midst of summer in June, July, August, that the world just stops moving because it's such a special time. And like that's kind of what this movie captured, I think,
It
for me.
captures the magic of a summer stuck in time
Yep.
where months pass in the movie,
Mhm.
but we don't need to see that. We don't need to see, hey, remember the 4th of July? Hey, remember, oh, it's time for these tourist families. Oh, it's late July. Tourist families are going to be really coming in now. Oh, or it's time for back to school. We don't need to see the time pass because we don't have the need for the feeling of time passing. It's exactly what you're saying.
Because we know it's gonna
Movie can
end
exist outside of
and we
time.
know when it's gonna end. It's about experiencing what you're present for in the moment.
Yeah. And just the way that this film on top of the way it presents the Cape, the way this film presents cooking and
Mm.
working in a kitchen. I have not spent a lot of my life working in a kitchen, but I have spent some of my life working in a kitchen. It's a unique beast. You meet some really interesting characters working in the restaurant business. Um, but this film truly encapsulates that kind of salt of the earth relationship you form with your coworkers in a space like that. Maybe not to the degree of watching a coworker throw their life away with heroin, but to the degree of you're going to form these relationships, you're going to make connections, You're gonna make mistakes with these people, but they're gonna be your people. And
I think we see that in that Tony doesn't immediately shank himself with the oyster shucker. It could have very easily happened at the first instance at the party, but it happened well within his mentorship within the kitchen, where they had started to take him under their wings and started to teach him the ways of how they do things in a kitchen, and started to teach him, and that he had started to find a community, and that the reason why he did it, he was a little cocky, which is in character for sure. But that he did it because he felt like he had people behind him that would show him the right way to do it next time. And they did. I think they did.
yeah. Um, Last thing I'll say about this movie, because I mean, we could heap praise on it all night for being one of the better biopics that we've talked about on the pod.
Yeah.
Um, and I talked about this a little bit in my Letterboxd review, but my favorite episode of TV of all time is season 2, episode 7 of The Bear, Forks, which is
Fantastic episode.
when Richie Jaramovich, played by Evan Moss Bachrach,
Cousin.
uh, yes, played by Evan, um,
Okay.
finds his purpose
Yeah.
in a kitchen. And he's worked in a kitchen for a long time before the show starts. And he has, as we've seen through this point in the show, which is a season and a half roughly, but he's kind of aimless in the first season and a half. And then he finds a love of his work and finds his place in the chaos of a kitchen and really understands how to make himself better and how to make those around him better. And I think the moment of growth that we see from Tony at the end of this movie, where he just needs to give a look to Sal that they're not going to take this money and they're actually going to invest it back into the community and into rebuilding the flagship, is similar enough to that where we, at least me as an audience member, I was able to draw that comparison because I'm seeing the same sort of thing where cooking, and I swear to God, in another life, I would have been a chef and I would have had a great fucking time. I love being in a kitchen. I digress. Um, but to find a place through one, food and the way that this film presents food, just the shots of it are gorgeous. Um, I digress again, but through food and through the community that one builds in a restaurant, there is a way that restaurants have that other careers I feel like don't have, where developing a sense of self and a sense of purpose comes very uniquely. And that's 100% captured, one, by that episode from a few years ago, but two, by this film.
It's a good
So, Mutiny, these two movies are
time.
currently playing in movie theaters. Mutiny is available on the big screen for a while. Tony is playing at a full release. It wasn't a limited release for its first couple of weeks
Yeah.
to build conversation and build word of mouth. Um, it might not be in theaters as long as Mutiny is, so definitely. I mean,
Get on
depending
that.
on whether you're a Statham person or a biopic person, that's how you're going to pick which one of these you see first. But
Get on
see
that.
both.
Yeah.
See
Get
both
on.
in theaters.
Yeah.
So it's a shame Ben's not here for the end of the episode because we're doing a pretty big one next week. It's the movie that Warner Brothers didn't want you to see. It's the movie that Acme doesn't want you to see. We are heading to the Looney Tunes live action hybrid Coyote versus Acme. If you go back to December, my number 3 highest anticipated movie of the year. just because Ketchup Entertainment stepped in and saved it. We'll talk about all of that next week. Coyote vs. Acme next week. In the meantime, watch some good movies, ban AI and filmmaking, support your local movie theater. Rest in peace to Dolly Parton and Tim Curry. Lost two absolute legends, icons this week. We will miss them and their impact on the world around them tremendously. Watch some of their movies this weekend and beyond as well. Well, watch Tim Curry's movies, listen to Dolly's music. It's a good combination.
Her movies too.
Her movies too.
Yeah.
And Tim Curry's performance on the Rocky Horror album. So music and movies from both of them. Tremendous, tremendous losses. They will be missed. We will see you for Coyote vs. Acme next week. Have a great night.
Good night.